With health updates and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. After KOTA IBUSHI suffered a fractured femur during tapings for AEW Collision, an update was provided in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. KOTA IBUSHI was released from the hospital this past week. He is now confined to a wheelchair and will have to, in time, relearn to walk, run, and jump. He noted that he's already lost 27.3 pounds since the injury and his legs have gotten very skinny. He thanked Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, and Michael Nakazawa for all their help. When it comes to plans for Liv Morgan returning to WWE, Ringside News wrote that WWE is quietly laying the groundwork for Liv Morgan's eventual in-ring return, and it looks like they're hoping for a major surprise moment when the time comes. According to PW Insider, the current expectation within WWE is that Liv Morgan will be ready to return to the ring by early 2026. This lines up with a rehab timeline following shoulder surgery, which she underwent after suffering a dislocated shoulder on the June 16th episode of Monday Night Raw. However, sources also believe there's a chance she could come back even sooner if she stays ahead of schedule during her physical therapy. While nothing is set in stone yet, WWE is being very intentional about keeping details surrounding her return a secret. The belief is that the company wants to generate a huge reaction from fans, so they're likely to go out of their way to hide exactly when she'll show up again. There's a strong internal buzz around Liv Morgan's return, with multiple sources confirming that WWE is very excited to have her back in the mix. She's especially popular in international markets like Saudi Arabia, which has led to speculation that WWE may try to have a return timed for the Royal Rumble event being held there. Liv Morgan has already returned to the WWE Performance Center, signaling that she's well into her rehab process. Her appearance at a special announcement event in Las Vegas further fueled talk of her getting closer to full clearance. Whether she comes back right on schedule or manages to shock fans with an earlier appearance, WWE seems poised to turn her return into a marquee moment. WWE's plans to build a new performance center in Orlando, according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It was said that the facility will feature more space and a television studio. While construction has not yet begun, it is expected to take several years to complete this project. Previously, Chief Content Officer for WWE, Triple H, said this about the new PC on Nightcap with Unk and Ocho. "It's in Orlando. We are in the process of building a new one now in Orlando. It'll be even bigger and better." Recalling a past relationship with a married woman, former WWE star SONYA DEVILLE told the Rule Breakers podcast she was Muslim and she wasn't really out and about, you know? "I was always open about my relationships, but this one was different. No one really knew except a few friends and some people backstage. She reached out about 2 months ago." Sonya's current partner, Tony, added, "Yeah, when she needed clothes, food, a place to live, and a car, you bought her all of it. That did happen. You were there for her when she needed someone the most. Still want that money back for that car though." DeVille then said, "I knew better than to propose or buy a house with anyone. Like, I knew not to put anyone's name on anything except for the car. She's like, 'Listen, I need to renew my lease. Are you good to stay on it or whatever?' And I said, 'No, I'm not co-signing the renewal.' 3 years go by and she still doesn't have anyone else to co-sign. This story is wild. I won't go into all the details, but here's the short version. She was still fully married while I was in this man's house, and I had no idea he still lived there. I was in this man's home, effing his wife. He comes on the Ring doorbell camera and says, 'Who's this hoe in my house?' And I'm standing there like, 'Who's this man talking?' She goes, 'Oh, that's my ex-husband.' No, it was her current husband. He was a doctor who was away for work. I was in his house, hanging out with his kid, playing football in the front yard, and the kid saying, 'When we get our new house together.' Meanwhile, the husband's watching on camera. So yeah, this man's voice comes through the doorbell and I'm like, what was that? I thought he was the jealous ex. She made it sound like that, but everything started making sense. He still had access to the Ring camera. All his clothes were in the drawers. His toothbrush was there. It was insane. Later, I even got a message from him on Instagram that just said, "Yo, homie." After a stalker broke into her home in 2020, Sonya Deville revealed how former WWE Chairman Vince McMahon protected her during her time with the company, saying on that same podcast, "I get this DM that says, 'Look outside your porch. I'm here. That blonde, Mandy Rose inside will die first. I froze. My stomach just dropped. I thought it was a sick troll at first, until I saw movement by the glass door. He had cut a hole in the screen and was literally inside my house. I screamed for Mandy, and we bolted out the back. I called 911 as we ran barefoot through the yard. Vince called and said, 'Are you okay? I'm sending security right now.' He had WWE security parked outside my parents' house for weeks. He made sure we had a safe place to stay. Whatever people say about Vince, that's the side they don't see. He really did take care of me. It made me realize how real stalking is. It's not just online trolls. This guy had been planning it for months. I'm one of the lucky ones. He got caught. But most stalking victims never get help until it's too late." Unfortunately, a WWE Hall of Famer is in the hospital, with book pro wrestlers writing on X. Wrestling legend Abdullah the Butcher has been hospitalized at 84. The wild man from the Sudan is battling serious health issues. One of wrestling's most feared figures, Abdullah helped shape the sport from Japan to Puerto Rico to Georgia and beyond. Send your prayers, love, and strength his way tonight. Explaining why Braun Breaker was pulled from the Battle Royal on Raw to determine who would face CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight title, Dave Meltzer said this in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. "Breaker is expected to end up as champion, but they have a plan of how and when to execute it. It's happening on a Saturday night's main event show, which is a Peacock exclusive and likely won't do big viewing numbers. Was decided to not be the time or the place for Breaker to win. So if Breaker wasn't going to win, there was no reason to put him in and get eliminated." When it comes to a possible return to action for an injured WWE star, Ringside News wrote that Piper Niven's WWE career could be hanging in the balance. The Scottish powerhouse, who's been off television since August, is reportedly dealing with what sources are calling a potentially career-ending neck injury. During a recent Q&A session, PW Insider's Mike Johnson provided a concerning update, revealing that both Niven and WWE's medical team are still determining how to move forward. The company is said to be handling the situation delicately, exploring treatment options while trying to avoid long-term damage. Johnson described the current situation simply by saying they're trying to figure out the best course of action right now. Niven's last WWE appearance came on the August 22nd, 2025 episode of SmackDown, where she scored one of the biggest wins of her career, defeating Charlotte Flair in singles action. That victory appeared to set up a major storyline, as she and Chelsea Green, collectively referred to on-screen as the Secret Hervis, were booked for a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match the following week. However, the match was abruptly cancelled after Niven's sudden absence. Since then, Green has kept their act alive through comedy segments, joking that Niven is on a secret mission, but behind the scenes, the situation has been far more serious. WWE sources have expressed quiet concern about whether Niven will ever be cleared to return to the ring. As of now, neither Niven nor WWE has publicly commented on the severity of the injury. Those close to the situation remain cautiously hopeful that she'll recover, though the road ahead could be long and uncertain. Niven's story is a reminder of how quickly a career can change in professional wrestling. Just weeks before the injury, she was poised for one of her biggest pushes in WWE. Now, her future hangs in the balance. While talking about Mercedes Moné, AEW President Tony Khan seemingly claimed that she is not making much money from appearances for independent promotions, saying this during a recent press conference. "With all the commitments Mercedes has taken on, I think it's really impressive. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That shows it's not pure greed and money for Mercedes, because a lot of these places she's wrestling, Winnipeg, Canada, Denmark, they're not the highest paying places. She's not really making money from these. She loves wrestling. She loves building up companies. She loves meeting new young stars, and she really cares about the craft and the sport of wrestling." However, Dave Meltzer revealed in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that one promoter inquired about booking Moné and was quoted $25,000 per appearance. Meltzer added, "There may be and probably are different deals cut elsewhere, and it's also possible it's people who she isn't interested in working for who get that quote." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.